So this has a new feature. Let's see how it turned out. And now I'm going to put the line down here as well. I think this one's going to be red though. I need some light. Bingo. I have really beautiful light that comes in here till about, I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock. So yeah, I do all sorts of art. I have done landscapes and cubism and impressionism and surrealism. I love to draw. I have a whole collection of drawing stuff. I think drawing I can be my most creative. I created wonderful fantasy pieces, but also with just a number 2 pencil, I can create very realistic drawings. Here, I'll show you. I've got some right here, it turns out. So it either goes to very fantastic stuff to super realism with pencils. I've also done charcoal drawings, which are really fun, but very messy, so they can only be outside. Yeah, so not sure what I'm doing here. I've never done like erotic art. I don't know why. I've always viewed it with disdain, mostly, you know, when gay men draw pictures of men, you know, usually it's very amateur, first of all, and secondly, it's just, you know, it's on the nose. Here is a picture of a naked man. There are gay artists out there that make beautiful work, but they're very rare. I can only think of like maybe 5. So this line here, I like to think of my artwork as what you would have behind you as you're falling in love and having sex. You know, first you take your date to your groovy pad where you have a collection of contemporary art, and then go from there. I have this. I'm working on this. This was driftwood off the beach, and I cut it. It's going to go in the garden, and this is just a piece of wood, but I really liked the line here, so I put painted in these lines here, and then it's going to sit up like, you know, like on a pedestal, on a plinth, like so, and be a little piece of abstract art. There's that. Yeah, boy, sex. When you get old, it's like you become a nomosexual. You don't have sex, no-mo. It's so difficult to meet people at this age, just in general. Um, Finding someone to date that I had a difficult time finding people to date when I wasn't this old. I used to be incredibly shy. Like when I first started going out to bars, I would always just hang in the corner. I go out on the dance floor and dance by myself. And that continued on well into my 20s, where, yeah, like I'd be in these huge discotheques in Los Angeles or San Francisco, and there I'd be in the corner dancing by myself, and there'd be 1,000 guys in front of me. I don't know why. And then when I lived in Hawaii, there was this bar called Hula's, and Hula's was this very cool place to hang out, and just a really wonderful bar. It's both indoors and outdoors. Anyway, some people who were regulars there noticed that I danced by myself, so they started this little thing where they would dance with me, but not on the dance floor. We'd dance off in the corner by ourselves. It was sweet of them to recognize my intense neuroses, my individuality. So yeah, they say that people who are autistic have really kinky sex. I asked my brothers once if they were into kinky S&M sex, and they both said yes. Okay. Generally, I would have to say that I was more like feral when I was, I'm sure I don't know if everybody's felt this, but I certainly felt it in my life. Not anymore very much. For me anyway, it's true what they say about getting older. I still like to look, but I don't have the energy to do anything about it. But when I was younger, I'd get these like feral moments where, you feel like a damn dog. There was this great place in Tucson, Reddington Canyon, and it was way up in the mountains on the east side, just beyond Paul McCartney's house. And then you had to park your car up this dirt road and then hike in and a couple miles, and there was this place where all these gay men hung out. And it was just wonderful, because, it was sexual, obviously. If you put a bunch of gay men together, they're going to have sex. But it was more than that. I mean, people sat around all day and talked and had wonderful conversations about all sorts of things. And it was also just exquisitely beautiful up in the Sonoran Desert. And there was a stream that went down through the canyon. And of course, when the monsoons hit, the streams would be full of water. So, it'd be like 110 degrees outside, but there's these beautiful streams and pools of water. So I spent a lot of time up there. And I often wonder about, like, what was life like when we didn't have all this sanitation, People must have been much more in contact with each other's bodily fluids, no matter which gender you identify with. And now I think that it becomes like a fetish to be around other people's bodily fluids. And where is the love in that, I ask? Anyway, What do you think? Now we're going to take the tape off. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like it. It's a square frame that it's going in, and square paintings are very difficult because it becomes a real issue of balance when you have a square painting. But I think I'm going to stop there.